Lots of questions and guessing here in Germany. Are the Americans about to pull thousands of troops out of the country? And if so, why? Last week, U.S. President Trump reportedly instructed the Pentagon to bring home almost 10,000 of the 34,000 troops stationed here in Germany. The Pentagon has not confirmed that report, and the German government says it has not received notification. Ever since he became U.S. president, Donald Trump has criticized Germany for not increasing its defense spending. Today, Germany's defense minister made it clear the presence of U.S. troops serves U.S. interests and does not constitute the Americans doing the Germans a favor.
The fact is that the presence of U.S. soldiers in Germany serves the overall security of the NATO alliance, and thus also American security. That is the basis on which we work together. Incidentally, it is also the basis on which many American soldiers have also become a real component of German society, are well integrated on the ground, and play an important role there. And in this respect, for today, I believe there is no need to add anything.
All right, for more now, let's take this story to Brussels, home to NATO headquarters. DW's Terry Schultz joins me now from our Brussels bureau. Terry has spent many years covering NATO. Good evening to you, Terry. Germany says that Washington has not announced anything. Has NATO received word of any troop reduction plans in Germany?
It's hard to tell, Brent. I asked Secretary General Stoltenberg about the U.S. plans for withdrawing German troops today at an online event he held, and this is what he said.
We are constantly consulting with the United States, with other NATO allies on the military posture presence in Europe. European allies and the United States, we are doing more together now in Europe than we have done for many, many years. I think that reflects the fact that we have actually been able to strengthen the military cooperation within NATO over the last years.
So Secretary General Stoltenberg would not directly address whether he had been informed about U.S. plans. And in fact, he held a phone call with President Trump after this event. And even after this, I asked NATO officials again, did they discuss the reported plans to pull troops out of Germany? And I didn't get a straight answer again. Simply was told that they discussed the U.S. troop presence in Europe, as they always do. So we really don't know, Brent.
Yeah, frustrating for you and for all of us trying to get answers. A Trump administration official told us that there is no need for a large U.S. presence in Germany because NATO has increased its defense spending. Is that true? And is NATO just as strong with fewer U.S. troops here in Germany?
We don't really know, Brent. It is true that NATO has increased its defense spending, or more accurately, that all NATO allies have increased their spending on their own militaries, which is, in fact, usually referred to as NATO defense spending. But there really hasn't been a test of NATO's need for U.S. troops here on the continent. But I think what's really missed in this conversation is that it's in the U.S. interest to have the troops stationed in Germany. Those troops are not there simply to protect Germany, as President Trump likes to portray it, or even to protect Europe. In fact, it is used as a staging grounds for troops to go on to other parts of the world. I mean, not even Europe, not even the Russian border. The U.S. has many uses for its installations in Germany, and that, in fact, would be a huge loss. And you saw many commentators coming out after this announcement saying that's a ridiculous decision. That's a strategic mistake. Those are most of the comments I heard from military commentators. A mistake for the United States, not a threat to Europe.
Yeah, a colossal mistake we've heard in the last 48 hours. You know, Terry, there are worries here in Berlin that Donald Trump would reduce U.S. troop numbers to punish Germany for not spending more on defense. Are those worries, are they justified based on what you know about U.S. NATO ties at the moment?
Well, I think it's more about U.S.-German ties, in fact, outside the NATO context. And I have also read those reports that this is sort of another fit of pique by President Trump about Germany's low defense spending. Also rumors that he was angry because Chancellor Merkel refused to come to a G7 summit at this point due to coronavirus worries, and that's had to be delayed. So we don't really know. In fact, many in the administration were not informed of the thinking behind President Trump's reported decision to do this. And it was just asked at the White House a short time ago today in their briefing, and they didn't have anything to say about it either. So he has apparently kept this decision, if it is made, in fact, quite close. And nobody's really sure how he came about. But I wouldn't put it past him to be coming up with this idea to punish Chancellor Merkel, one of his frequent targets.
Stoltenberg, he is always quick to talk up U.S. commitments to NATO. Are we to believe that after 3 years of the Trump presidency, America's role in NATO is stronger?
It is true, as Secretary General Stoltenberg likes to point out, massaging this message, that despite all the Trump threats to NATO, the threats that range from pulling out to simply cutting off funding, it is true that the U.S. troop commitment, the U.S. troop presence in Europe is greater now than it has been, than it even was under President Obama. But that remains to be seen whether that will continue with these threats from President Trump, and whether it's true that there are more boots on the ground or not. What he has done to shake up unity, to make the allies constantly wonder what he has up his sleeve next, I don't know that that makes up for having more U.S. soldiers on the ground here.
Yeah, that's an important point that we should not forget. Terry Schultz on the story for us in Brussels tonight. Terry, as always, thank you.